Then I fell down. Couldn't believe it until I stood up, 10 toes behind Jesus.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode on 10 Toes Behind Jesus podcast. My name is Britley, and it is 5:12 a.m. in the Philippines. If you guys don't know or don't keep up with my recent posts on social media, I am in the Philippines. My pastor is the bishop over the northern Philippines, and so I have blessed to be able to make the trip, and here we are. Today will be day one. So it's a council, and I believe the 51st council. But, the sleep schedule is so different that I'm up and ready to go. I've actually been up for a couple hours now. And I was like, let me go ahead and do today's podcast. I think back home, I will be able to post right on time on the continuous schedule. But I had a thought last night that I wanted to make light of, and it was kind of a question that I had. And the question is, if you had a bad experience, traumatic experience, something terrible happened to you, and it caused you to get closer to God, would you still consider that something bad that happened to you? Because I think a lot of us experience something bad happening, and that something bad brings us closer to God. That something bad restores our relationship with God. That something bad renews our relationship with God. And while we're over here now, we still have the mindset of this is bad. And I think God wants us to get out of that mindset. Now, it's okay, like, when you tell your testimony, this thing happened and it was bad, right? Or whatever. But don't feel regretful that that happened, because if that didn't happen, you wouldn't be where you are now on the other side. And so as long as we have that mindset of almost regret, I think that holds us back from a lot of things. And this middle part, before we fully get all the way to having a restored relationship with God, this in the middle is the most challenging, difficult part. And I think what holds up this middle, again, is us and how we think. We're so busy trying to hold on to this old life, to everything that came with it. And that is just holding us back from walking into the newness that God creates in us once we give our life to Him. And if we can just hold on long enough in this middle, if we can just hold on long enough in the middle, be encouraged, we will make it to the end. And in this middle, what makes it so difficult is that we don't relate with either parties, truly. Because while we're stepping into our newness, that comes with a whole new life. And it's like day one in our new life, right? We're making new friends. God is helping us learn Him in a new way. It doesn't make sense. We're trusting, we're having faith. We're learning. So we're not really fully relating in this area. And then we're definitely not relating to the old area. Although the things of that, so the old area, the old life, the things of that you're familiar with, the friends over there, you still know them, you're familiar with it, but it can't, they in that life doesn't resonate with you anymore. So you find yourself in this place of isolation, really. Yes, you're communicating with people, talking to people, but you truly, you feel isolated. And this part is a very, very, very crucial part that you're in, because oftentimes a lot of people simply just revert back. They don't break away long enough and they don't want this new life long enough or bad enough to hold on, and so they just revert back. But you got to understand, the reason why this part is so important is because before these outside influences can come in, even whether they're good influences coming in, you need to have a relationship with God for yourself. And in this area is the time God pours into you, speaks to you. Now outside, it may look a mess, you know. It may look a mess, but still you gotta hold on and really take advantage of this time, because this is when this part right here, this part determines when you step all the way fully in, it's going to determine how your growth when you step in. So this part is really important, and not a lot of people talk about it. It's either like old and new, or like, you know, broken, healed, you know, and sinner, saint, you know, but there is a middle part that is extremely, extremely important. You don't know how long it's going to last. You don't know how painful it's going to be. But you really just got it. This is when you really have to lean on God every step of the way. I'm telling you, God will sustain you. He will help you. He will be there for you. But you gotta kind of toughen up. Like you can't be no weak soldier, because again, you revert back. Just gonna continue the cycle over and over again until you make up in your mind, this time I'm not going back. I'm for real. So that's really all I wanted to talk about today, is just encouraging those that are in the middle, right? Just hold on long enough to see the end, because once you get over here, it's good. It's good over here, guys. But yeah, that's all for today's episode. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and keep up with things going on over the next 3. What's today? Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Oh man, I'm not even here that long. Okay, over the next 3 days. Traveling takes up like so much of the traveling, be a whole 2 days. So it really confuses me. But yeah, so keep up what's going on here in the Philippines. And yeah, don't forget to stay 10 toes behind Jesus, because you know he's 10 toes behind you. See y'all in the next video.
Down. Couldn't believe it until I stood up 10 toes behind Jesus.